Yo, yo, yo. What's up, everybody? What's up, Waseek? How you doing, man? Give it a few minutes, let some people join the party here, and then we'll get going. Let me just argue with Geronimo here. What's up, Crypto Bripto? Darren, fuck man, 60 Minutes is just airing the Trump interview. Interesting. I watched the first part of it. I think it was like that Trump released himself. So I mean, who knows? I imagine it's probably pretty wild. If I had to guess. Yo, what up, Trader Cause? How you doing, man? Everyone go check out my boy Cause on TikTok. He's taking over the TikTok game. He's going to be the #1 crypto TikToker in the space. That's a fact. Roscoe, what's up, dude? Congrats on getting married too there, Cause. Looked like a beautiful wedding. J-Man, how you doing? Dick's Enormous. That is a great name. Dick's Enormous. How you doing, bro? Reverend, what's up, man? Hulk Hogan, what's up? Cause does have an OnlyFans as well. He talks about it on his TikTok. You follow him on TikTok, DM him about the OnlyFans. That costs extra, though. All right, cool. We got about 30 people here or so going, so let's just get right into it. Welcome back to a weekly live stream, Eth and Chill, with myself, Trader Main. Just want to say thanks to my sponsor, PrimeXBT, for making this happen. Obviously, show them some love. Sign up using the link in the description. It's a great platform. There is also a discount code in the description to get a 50% discount bonus. A deposit bonus, excuse me. So check them out. Really appreciate them helping me out, put these on for you guys. Obviously, nothing discussed here constitutes financial advice. You should always do your own research before you do any kind of trading or investing. I'm a robot bird. Always remember that. So hoping everyone's having a great weekend. It's beautiful up here in my part of the world. It is cold though, man. It is cold. I think it's going to snow soon. So one of the downsides of living in Canada for me is when it snows, but I still can't go snowboarding. Once I can go snowboarding, I'm all good with the snow, but kind of that in-between fall season where it's just cold as fuck, I can't go to the hill, is the worst. So it's cold. Hope everyone took my advice on the last video about betting on Khabib because he absolutely demolished Gaethje because the man wrestles bears, like I said. So how can you go against him? All right, Goldeneye, what's up, man? Hopefully you can teach us to fish again. That's the goal, bro. What up? Kareem Abdallah, what's up, bro? Sochi, what up? I have a dog named Sochi. What is Eth? Well, you're about to find out, Stuart. Mitch, what's up, bro? Is this the Alcoholics Anonymous stream? No, this is the fucking Weed Anonymous stream. I'm hella sober. I did do an Eth pronunciation poll, and the poll results were it's ETH. It's ETH. So it's Ethereum, and it's ETH, like I don't know another word pronounced like ETH. So it's not like meth. It's not Eth. It's ETH. So it's not Eth and chill, Ethereum and chill. It's ETH and chill, Ethereum and chill, and I hate it. I'm gonna keep calling it Eth. So let's just get into it, guys. We're looking at the chart here. So if you guys remember, and I posted this on Twitter as a little screen grab in anticipation of today's video. Shout out to Tricks. They ain't just for kids. This was from the last video, right? So we were trading all the way down at 377. So if you remember 2 streams ago, right? 2 streams ago, we were talking about longing this, right? 365. So you go back to last month when I drew these lines on. We basically said below here, down, above here, up to at least 408. That was the plan from like 3-4 weeks ago, right? I'm telling you, I know I've been shit posting a lot on Twitter lately. I look, it's funny. My Twitter kind of goes in waves, right? Where I have crazy engagement and then not so much engagement. I'm posting hella charts, then I'm posting hella shit posts. It goes in waves, and what I find is my favorite medium for communicating with you guys and discussing trade ideas, and the one where I seem to be the most accurate as well, is in these streams. I really love doing them. They're super fun. And I think I've been pretty on point with Ethereum, especially over the last handful of weeks. So we talked about in this video on the 6th, we talked about this move, right? And then on the next video, 7 days later, I talked about longing 365. This is all on YouTube still, right? Up into here, okay? And then last week's stream, we talked about, and as you can see, we were trading around 377, so $30 below where we are now. We talked about a move up here. I said, I don't think this is going to hold another test, right? 1, 2, 3. It gave us one more chance to buy support, another chance to buy support, I guess. Sorry, so not one more chance, but 4 tests, and then another chance to buy support. So you had 3 attempts here to buy 365. This level's getting battered. We're uptrend here, higher lows, higher highs, right? This is a long scenario, right? You have an ascending wedge here, okay? An ascending triangle. This is a long situation. We're looking along. And I gave you the breakout pattern, and it played out almost to a T. And so if you watched the last video, I drew one of these out. I said there's a few there's a few ways I like to get into a trade at a key level. I broke this down in the last video, so I'm not going to go too deep into it this video. But I talked about first is finding the levels where you want to do business. Second is actually knowing what to look for when you're there. And I said we want to look for something like this, which is basically on the hourly chart. I said we want to clear this zone, right? And I said the top of this zone is our SR. I don't know why that's all grayed out there. What's going on here? Oh, I know what to do. What's going on here? Sorry, guys. I was on a fucking roll here, and then this level, this shit's fucking me up. It's tripping me out because... No. There we go. Okay. So, talked about this top of the level here. Basically, 395 is being our SR. And I said you want to look for a move up, down, right? Sweep the low, and then buy essentially like a breaker or just a reclaim of the low that got swept. And I talked about this in the last video, right? And I said it's not always going to be picture perfect, right? You're not always going to get the picture perfect. It looks exactly like my drawing setup, but this one is pretty damn close, right? So we wanted to see a move up, right, through the level. That's here. I want to see a move down, form a low. That low is right here. I want to see another move up, okay? And in my drawing, I didn't draw the second move up as taking out the previous high. In this instance, it did, right? So it actually went above here. It doesn't matter, right? I'm not worried. I'm bullish. I don't care if it takes the high. I'm looking for this low to get swept, right? So in this instance, it went higher, and then it swept the low right here. There's your low sweep, right? And then what did I want to see now? I want to see this low get reclaimed. Where's that happen? Right there, right? Once this low is reclaimed, right, we're looking long. You're getting long in this area here. Soon as we reclaim that low, you're looking to get long, and then obviously get continuation. And that's exactly what we mapped out in the last video. It's exactly what you got here. So again, a little bit of discretion necessary. Discretion, excuse me. It's not always going to be picture perfect, but this is the idea, right? Break the level, put in a low, move up, take the low, reclaim the low. That's your setup. It's essentially an over-under, right? It's an over-under, right? Boom, boom, back above the level. It's almost an inverted head and shoulders, right? You can almost see that there. Very tiny, right? But there's one shoulder, there's your head, there's your other shoulder. Call it whatever the fuck you want, but this is a setup right here. And this was discussed in the last video and exactly where it was going to take place too. That's the key. It's not just that this consolidation happened, it's that this consolidation happened in an area that we expected it to happen, okay? And then it played out accordingly, and then the initial target was 408. It blew out that level a little bit. 408 just comes from over here, okay? And now we're trading right around that level, and we'll talk about kind of what I see is next coming up here. But does that setup that played out make sense to everyone? Would you have taken that trade based on the analysis we discussed in the last video, how I explained to get in, the location, everything was laid out for you there. Where do you think your stop goes, right? So if you ever have a trade where it's one of these, right? And this is where you're getting long. If this low got ripped, your stop goes below here. It's kind of like an SFP. So your stop would have gone below here. Because we took out that low and then reclaimed the level, this low should be locked in now. So that's your risk. So does that make sense for everyone in terms of why that trade was taken? Whoa, chat is popping off here. All right. Eth is a three-letter connection used in Shakespeare literature. Example, whateth, haveth, doneth to my flowereth. Exactly. It's not whateth, haveth, doneth to my flowereth. Mrs. Cause in the audience. What up, Mrs. Cause? Congratulations on getting married. You did good. What did I think of the fight yesterday? I think Khabib is one of the GOATs of MMA. He absolutely handled him, and apparently he had a broken foot too. Like ethereal, yeah. Cause you still want to buy that cocaine off me. Mitch is wild, bro. We're taking over the world, and we're coming in waves. What do you think about the fact that ETH touched the support trend line a lot? So, are you talking about in this drawing that I did here? Right? Is that what you're talking about? This line here? Because you got to remember, right? In trend line trading, right? It's 3 tests that confirm the trend line, right? In trend line trading. But to me, this is just placing in higher lows. Remember, I talked about this in the last video. All these structures this is a perfect example for what I was talking about. Any sort of shape, right? So you want to call this an ascending triangle, whatever, is just a description of market structure. I see equal highs and I see higher lows leading up into it. To me, that's bullish because it means that there's liquidity building above these highs. Okay, and we've got higher lows, bullish market structure forming. These highs are about to get taken. So any sort of pattern, again, just describes some form of market structure to me. The opacity is at 0. Thanks, bro. Okay, cool. I took that trade on the first breaker structure after the breakout, but got taken out because of the big down candle. So again, right? This is where you went wrong, I imagine, right? So you longed here, right? And then you saw this big down candle, you got stopped out. So I actually don't hate that trade, right? So let's say you logged here, your stop's here, okay? And you get stopped like you did, right? I'm just going to delete this shit for now. So you logged the breakout here, your stop, I don't know where you put your stop, but you got stopped out here on this red candle, okay? When price then does this and reclaims the lows, Why not step back in? Right? So there's two ways that you can deal with that problem. Way number one, right, is wait. So don't buy the breakout, because anytime we break a key level, we don't just go like this, right? Usually consolidate and then go, right? And I know it's confusing because if you look on the H12, it looks like we just broke this all in one go, right? And it's like, where do I get in? Well, that's when you got to drill down because you see more. And then what you actually see is we broke out, consolidated. This is your reaccumulation. This is your entry. And then we continued. So you could have taken the long, get stopped out as soon as we retake this level, right? As soon as we kind of come down, bounce right back up, reclaim the level. Why not long again, stop down here? The second way you can kind of avoid what happened to you is just more patience, right? Once price took out the level, let some price action form. Wait for that setup, right? If this didn't give me a setup, if this just went like this, right? And then just, I don't know, just did a quick pullback and ripped, I might have missed it, right? Like if it would have ripped off of here, right? So it breaks the level, pulls back, and then just continued. Like if it just would have done one of these, I would have missed a trade, right? I waited for a setup that I know how to trade and I know how to enter in and I know how to set my stop on, right? So, but nothing wrong with that first trade you took, in my opinion. Just don't be afraid to step back in. Don't be afraid to step back in. Okay, and if we zoom in even more, you get even more detail. What do you see here? So if you're bullish, right, your mind, yes, this is a 15-minute chart. You don't know what's going to happen here, right? This hasn't happened yet, okay? But you're bullish because of the move up here. This has you bullish. So what you're looking for in this consolidation is a long setup, right? You're looking for a long setup within this area of consolidation. I don't know why I did that anyways. So you're looking for a long setup here on the 15-minute. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can get into the trade, right? If you're bullish, if you see one of these, right? We see a low get swept. I'm going to delete that line. I got to start streaming on my new gaming rig. I don't know why I'm not yet. I'm just being lazy. Okay, right? Low gets swept. We're back above, right? This is just kind of a reclaim. 15-minute gives you more time to get involved, right? And so let's say you don't long here on the reclaim. Okay, but we've reclaimed the low. You're bullish. Well, what about longing on this pullback here? I'm not saying you get in on this wick, right? But a pullback is a long. Right? Why aren't you looking to get long here? This wicked low, but never took out this low. I don't really see a breaker here or anything like that that jumps out at me as a long. Maybe on the even lower time frame. Let's see. Yeah, I don't really see a breaker that I would be like, yes, I'm fucking longing off of that. You could argue that this is like a little bit of a breaker right here. Right, so there's the up move. Took out this swing low here. Right, once that happens, you're looking to long any of these tests. But again, right, you're not going to catch every trade, but I don't personally think I saw anything wrong with you taking that first trade. To be honest with you, I don't. Just don't be afraid to step back in, right? Like if you took it, you get stopped, bang it again, right? Asymmetric risk reward. So I took about, I think, 3 shorts on Bitcoin this week. And the first 2 got stopped out. And everyone was chirping me on Twitter. But then on the third one, I caught like a $400 move. Because when I'm aiming for asymmetric risk reward, when I'm aiming for asymmetric risk reward, it allows me to get stopped out, right? So I'm willing to step back in, right? So short, stop, short, start, asymmetric risk reward, right? Because when I do get it right, I didn't hold this all the way to close, right? It didn't go down this low, but I closed it off. I think I talked about closing it around here. It ended up being like a 5R trade. Well, if I'm down 2R from the first trade, then I get a 5R. I'm up 3R, right? So as long as you're aiming for that 2-to-1, 3-to-1 risk reward on your trades, it's okay to get stopped out and step back in. If you think your idea is right, don't be afraid to step back in. Yeah, Tanner, don't forget to like and subscribe on my YouTube shit. Okay, it touched 400 twice. Okay, I'm not sure I fully understand your question here because I don't know where you're referring to where it touched 400. Like, are you talking about right now? Or are you talking about on the way up? Or are you saying like where we are right now? Like this is 400 here. It hasn't touched 400. I don't think it touched 400 yet. On the way up, it did, obviously. So give me some specificity, and I'll look into it, brother. What's up, Yoked Crypto? How you doing, man? So we just had a major weekly close. Major key. Why? Well, if you look at the weekly close since all-time high, okay? The highest weekly close where we're around. Okay, we closed up there. This is the highest weekly close we've had in a while. Am I tripping here? No, sorry. This. Still tripping. I think I might be a step ahead of myself. What is his fucking name? One sec here, guys. Okay. Regardless, weekly close on Bitcoin. This is a really bullish weekly close. Like, obviously, we're closing higher than this swing high, right? We're closing higher than the wick here. Okay, we're closing higher than this wick here. We're literally getting into kind of air territory. So if I'm looking at Bitcoin here, this weekly close was super fucking strong, right? Any sort of pullback is a long. Now, again, we could pull back into here and still be super bullish, okay? We could pull back to under 11K and still be super bullish. And I know people don't like seeing that, but look what just happened before this leg up that we just had, right? Before this leg up, what do we have? Right? We had a 62, kind of 70.5% pullback. That's exactly what I'm mapping out here. I'm not saying that we're going to do this, right? We could do a 0.382 pullback. We could do a 50% pullback. We don't have to pull back at all. Generally, though, Bitcoin gives you those pullbacks. Even in a strong uptrend, it gives you that little pullback, right? So that's what we want to see. I mean, I think this is a good-looking weekly close. I'm super bullish. I think the next key resistance on Bitcoin is there. Right here, 13,873. And I believe if we go to the yearly chart, yeah. So that's that yearly open and close. Close here, open here, right? And then you dial that down to the daily or whatever. Or not the weekly, sorry. And that literally was the top here. I think we're into this area here next. The range of this candle. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like this. And then some sideways reaccumulation in here, right? Kind of like what we saw here, and then continuation. Like, I'm super bullish for going into 2021. I think the chart looks great. But we've just had a huge move. So don't be surprised if we see some sort of pullback. Not saying we're going to 8K, not saying we're going to 6K. Nothing's out of the question, but I do think that, after this big of a move, looking at this weekly candle here, right? We've got 1, 2, 3 green weeklies in a row. Obviously, we can have more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4 green weeklies, right? And then a big pullback. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see maybe a little more upside, right? But eventually I'm expecting some sort of retracement, shake people out, and then continuation. And if you watched my metals with mainstream on Friday, we talked about the dollar being kind of on its last stand support here. So some sort of relief on the dollar here that's been getting absolutely shit on would line up well with a pullback on Bitcoin and Ethereum. So looking at Ethereum specifically, because this is the Ethereum and Chill stream, right? We are into this 3-day order block here, which is the last resistance before ETH is going to like 600. The next area I have for Ethereum is up here. Okay. So regardless of what happens, we're going here eventually. The question is, are we going to go like this, right? Or are we just going to go Chad mode? Either way, this is where we're going sooner than later, going into Q1 of 2021. And this is largely going to depend on what Bitcoin is doing. So if I'm looking at Ethereum on the weekly, we're into this bearish order block. This is the last stand for the ETH bears. Any sort of bear that exists for Ethereum that thinks for some reason they're going to get to buy Ethereum like sub $200 again, this has to be the top. Especially after this, right? So we ran that, and then we're trading. So this order block, right? Next candle ran these highs here. Now we're trading below it. If this is going to sell off hard, I'm not saying down to here, but if it's even going to take out these lows here, it has to top in this gray area, in my opinion. I think as soon as we clear this gray area, it's like teleportation mode, another like $200, $100, $150 higher. So into resistance, be careful. Election is in a week. Be careful, but everything looks good from an investment, high time frame perspective. It's just about kind of, mitigating that risk in between. So, I mean, if you're not well positioned in Bitcoin and Ethereum at this point, right? Like, I don't really know what to tell you other than focus on any sort of, 10, 15, 20% dips. Those are the ones you want to be averaging in on. But I mean, you had a long ass time to buy cheap Ethereum and cheap Bitcoin. I'm talking years, 2 years, right? 3 different chances to buy it like sub 100. So, you only got yourself to blame if you haven't kind of loaded up at least on some Ethereum and Bitcoin at this point. You got 2 chances to buy at 3K on Bitcoin. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I bought Bitcoin, all my Bitcoin at 3K. Obviously not. But you've got to, and I always talk about this, you've got to look at trading and investing, in my opinion, is 2 separate things. You got to treat them similarly, and in investing, you should have a stop as well. But, my Ethereum and Bitcoin thesis was 6K and below on Bitcoin is cheap, 200 and below on Ethereum is cheap. And so anytime over the bear market, I had a chance to buy at or below those levels, I did. And so my average entry is not 3K, but let's say my average entry on Bitcoin is between 5 and 7K, and on Ethereum it's 150 and 250, and so let's call it $200 is my average and 6K is my average. That's pretty fucking good for the next bull run, in my opinion. I didn't catch the bottom, but I'll absolutely catch the meat of the move because I had some bottom buys and I had some buys that are underwater, and it averages out, okay. So, so I mean, high time frame, weekly chart, this is where we're going. High time frame, weekly chart, this is where we're going. What the fuck is that? That's an old ass note. But there you go. Bought 1.1 BTC here. I used to track my spot buys like that. That's got to be old. I wonder why that's on the chart. Right? So above here, get uber bull. Looking at the daily, looking at the lower time frame here on Ethereum, do I see anything I don't like? Not really. I think this is an interesting level here. Right, as a breakout level. So similar how we played that breakout on the way up here, I like this 418 level as a similar level, right? So some sort of breakout above here and then some sort of bullish setup at this level would be the long you want to take into this high. So that level just comes from right over here. So it's kind of this previous floor of this consolidation caused us to top there. To me, this is just a deviation. I ignore this, right? Now we're back into it, resistance. And I bet you if you go back in time, it's been a key level before, and look at that. Floor, right? Floor. So just about into it there. So that looks like a good level to me. Trade it exactly as the last video. Right? Now we're on the hourly. What do I want to see? So let's say we, I don't know, come down here and we trade up. Same thing, right? Low, high, break above, pull back. That could be a long, or similar to the last one we got from the last video, right? Take out the low, back above the low, stop down here, looking for continuation. So, and we're targeting into the high from over here. All right, that's a lot of talking. Let's just check the chat. Sorry, I mean right now the wick's below 405. Yeah, so I mean, again, right? We just broke out. So we just broke out. I'm watching here. Right? I want to see now, is this consolidation going to become support? And what have I just done? I talked about this in my last video. Right? So I said, okay, I like this level over here. I like this level from this consolidation. It also happens to be the top there. Okay? So I marked it here. What have I also just created? Created a range, right? So you could treat this as a range now. If you're a range trader, here is your range. Right, there's your range high, we're in the range low, we're trading below the range EQ right now. So any sort of move below the range low into here, I want to see bought up, a reclaim of the range low, and I'm long into the range middle, reclaim of the range EQ, and I'm bullish into the range high. Alternatively, let's say we do this, right? We come up here, we move up here, okay? First thought, because we're bullish, right? We're bullish here. My first thought on this is a long. Okay? But if we come up here and then trade back into the range, then I flip short here and I trade it here. Okay? And what, again, asymmetric risk reward allows me to do is it allows me to take this long, right? Because the long is the favorable move. I'm bullish on Ethereum. I want this range to, I'm expecting this range to break up, right? So I want to look for longs. That said, this could be the top. We could break down. But if we come up here, my first trade is looking for a long here. Let's say it does this. Boom, I'm stopped out for 1R. Now I'm shorting here. Stop here. And let's say I long it into here, or short it into here, and I get a 2R. I'm now up 1R because I have that stop out. I nailed my 2R trade. I'm still up. Or let's say this is a 3-to-1. Or maybe I ride it down to here and it becomes a 4-1. So then I make 3R total because I have that one loss. So this is a perfect example of why asymmetric risk reward is so important, because it allows you to be wrong, right? Saying, okay, I think we're going up. Oh, never mind. Well, now I'm short biased, right? Into here and then potentially into here if we break down again. You got to be fluid with your bias because you're a trader. This is different than investing. I'm a trader. I'm fluid as fuck with my bias. If this happens, I'm bullish. If this happens, I'm bearish. And I used to get a lot of shit on Twitter. Most of those people are gone now because they're all broke, I imagine. But that's mean. I hope they're okay. But I used to get a lot of shit because I would post like, if this happens, up arrow. If this happens, down arrow. People would be like, oh, so up or down. And it's like, fuck you. That's exactly how trading works. If this happens, right, I have a long trigger that is telling me what to do, right? If this happens and we reject here, right, I have a short trigger that tells me how to get involved, right? So yes, it could go up or down, but I have a plan for each one, and then you execute on it accordingly. But to me, this looks like a little range that's formed here on the hourly. So I would focus on this going into the week, right? So focus on this going into the week. Bias to me is still the upside. So what I would want to see is the lows run, right, to get long. But if we run the highs, right, and then break back in the range, that's an easy short. So pretty clear plan. Does that make sense for everyone? So I gave you the high time frame, right? High time frame is once we're above 418, we're looking for boom. First this, but then boom. In terms of the day trading perspective, you got a nice little range here that you can work in. I'll touch on FBTC next. Oh my god, some people's fucking tweets are so goddamn cringe. All right, let's just keep going. So I'm going to go on FBTC now. Can you check FBTC? Yes, I can. I got BTC around 4,400 when I bought my first BTC around Jan of 2019. Got very lucky because I ain't know shit about crypto. Nice buys, bro. Hold those to infinity. No, I mean, fuck. That's how most people got into crypto, right? Most people didn't know shit and they ended up buying, and then they maybe made or lost some money, and then now we're here. Whose tweets? I can't say. It's a secret. All right, so here's the thing about FBTC and why it looks like absolute dog shit. Now, we can go back in time and I can tell you a story about fractions and how fractions are a very simple mathematic concept that you learned when you were a little kid that you didn't think would help you in trading. But here you are trading the future of finance, realizing that you probably should have paid attention to what a numerator is and what a denominator is and yada, yada, yada. So generally, right? So FBTC here topped when? June of 2017. Okay, where was Ethereum in June of 2017? Not topped, right? Not topped. Then when USD hit all-time high, yes, this was pumping, right? But this was putting in a lower high, right? And then when this put in a lower high, this was its third lower high. So the clues of the market topping here right, were already available or being hinted at, excuse me, on the altcoin chart or the FBTC chart. So when this hit all-time high, right, and this did not make a new all-time high, that overall is a sign that the market may be turning, right? And then when you get this last push up here and you see how weak it is on the FBTC pair, that's your get the fuck out of Ethereum sign. Why is this, right? Why is this? Well, what you'll find, obviously, is that the altcoin USD markets, right, are going to be more in sync. Ethereum and Bitcoin, these are essentially lockstep. They're not a perfect one-to-one, right? Sometimes one's leading, one's lagging, but for the most part, they're essentially lockstep. The reason it's different here is because half of this fraction is the US dollar, the denominator. Half of this fraction is Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin is really fucking strong, right here, right? What do you expect to happen to the pair, right? It gets fucking smoked. So it's the BTC DOM chart, right? So when you have the numerator is ETH and the denominator is Bitcoin, when Bitcoin is strong, generally this fraction as a whole, right, will decrease in value. Now there are periods of time where the whole fraction either stays flat or goes up. If this is going up, this chart, that means that Ethereum is stronger relative to Bitcoin than Bitcoin is. And maybe that means Bitcoin is weak or Bitcoin is flat, or maybe it's going up, but Ethereum's going up more, right? So it's all about just being a numerator and a denominator. So all I mean by that is, why does this look like shit? All you got to do is look at the Bitcoin chart for your answer. Right now, right, this is the inverse of this, right? So when we made this top here, right, that was this bottom here. And when we're making this breakout, what does it look like this is going to do? It looks like this is going to break fucking down. So what you're going to find is a lot of the altcoin USD pairs are going to hold up reasonably well with Bitcoin strength, but a lot of the alt versus BTC pairs are going to get shellacked. So I would not be surprised if when Bitcoin breaks 14,000, right, takes out this high, that we see a lot of altcoin charts that look like this make one last leg down. And that is the leg you absolutely want to fucking buy. All right? So, and again, you can trade this as its own chart. You don't need to, you don't need to look at Bitcoin to trade this, but it helps, right? Because it's part of the fraction. Just like you should look at the US dollar when you're trading EU. I drew this on my very first Eth and Chill stream. The very first one. Okay? Way back here in August. And I said, this chart looks like it wants to do this. Higher low, boom, up into here. So to me, that's still super bullish. This is a weekly chart. It's just taking some time to play out. So I'm still of the mindset that this is what's going to happen on Ethereum BTC. I'm going to go back to my other chart because I want to leave this just to see if that plays out. It's not super precise, but it's okay. So with Bitcoin showing strength, you want to be careful with altcoins, right? And what you can look at is the BTC dominance chart. I think it's BTC.D. If this chart breaks up, what happened? Right, if this chart breaks up, I don't know what the fuck's going on there. Right? So if this chart breaks up, what is going on here, right? There's the top, right? And then this is going up. What does this look like relative to Bitcoin from a time frame perspective, right? And that's getting weaker, 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 weaker. right? And then boom, it legs up. Bitcoin goes up. So you can essentially consider this. What's the best way to kind of describe this? A proxy. You can use this when you're trading. I don't even know if this is the right chart. When you're trading altcoins. No, it definitely is. Yeah, when you're trading your altcoins, you can use this, right? So if this is going to leg up and Bitcoin is going to become more dominant, what I expect in altcoins is altcoins to bleed, right? And so this looks like, I'm trying to find a chart, time frame where this doesn't look weird. So let's say we're going to come up and fill this gap here, right? That's going to mean downward movement on alts like FBTC, right? So most of these alts are not going to fly when Bitcoin is very strong because Bitcoin is the denominator on all of these charts, right? So when I'm looking at ETH here, I think it was from the monthly. This is where I got that level from. This is where I want to buy Ethereum BTC. I don't know if it will come this low, but if Bitcoin breaks 14K, and we get some sort of wick down into here, I'm buying the shit out of it. Okay? What do you think is here? Where's my little thing? Right? Right in here is where you want to be buying. So that's that drawing I had on the other chart, right? From ages ago. It was just like, hey, if we get one of these, we're going up into here. So to me, this it looks weak, yes, but to me, this is a retrace after a breakout. Because if I just clear everything out here, right? What I see is, okay, we had a range here, we traded below, busted through, right? We're now back potentially going above here. I want to see one more test of the range low essentially, and then I think we trade it up into this. That's just kind of my high time frame. Like it's a naked chart. I think we could trade up into here, and I would love to long it back in here. I don't know if it will come that low. Maybe it comes to the wick. I don't know. Right? But I would love to see some sort of capitulation on altcoins, which would be confluent with Bitcoin breaking 14,000, right? Taking out this high. I think if that happens, we'll see a down move on altcoins. And that's when you want to get long something like FBTC. So I'm not trading this like I day trade FUSD. If I was, right, this is the level you're watching right here on the 3-day, right, that we're in a support right now. So again, if we use this as a level, right, if we start trading below here, right, I'm looking to start buying once we start trading below this line. I want to see this consolidation, right, be support. Otherwise, right, if we just start trading way down here, right, we're going much lower, right? So I want to see this area be support. And that lines up well with that daily, that monthly block I gave you. So yeah, I mean, this looks kind of weak. This looks like it's going to roll over. And Bitcoin is looking strong. So this would be kind of my low time frame level I'm watching here, right? So we're below this low here. As long as we don't get above the gray, right? As long as we don't get above this, I expect this to trade down towards here. 2,900, 29,000, big figure. I have a question. Why is the sky a little orange on the side of the sky? I think that has something to do with the sun. I'm not sure though. Kanye tweets are great. I love Kanye tweets. I want to sell FBTC this week. I agree with you. It looks bearish. Maine, have you ever tried trading the news like airdrops, mainnets, upgrade partnerships on crypto? Yes, I have. So, I mean, I've traded a lot of Forex and a lot of, equities and shit. And so there's earnings announcements. There's, things like non-farm payroll. There's this website I use called the Forex Factory. It has a calendar where it has all of the major announcements, interest rates announcements, all that kind of shit for Forex pairs. And it will say, okay, here's the level of, kind of volatility we can expect, based on this announcement and on which currency pair, yellow, red is like high volatility. And I usually get wrecked. So that same goes for crypto, right? My poor, poor baby, my poor, poor, poor EOS baby, right? Where's that Google News, right? Wasn't that like right here? Right? So you don't want to trade this shit. You don't want to do it, man. This is looking good though. My baby's looking good. Woo-wee! I think we're gonna see a breakout here, boys. Anyways, you don't want to fuck with trading the news, right? Because the news is gonna give you that where you're like, okay, I'm bearish at this line, right? And the news is gonna do one of these. You're gonna sell, right? And it's gonna go ding, and then it's gonna do this, and that wick is where you get fucked, right? Or you're longing this breakout or something. So and then the move happens. So for the most part, I try and avoid selling the news. I've gone through that. I've traded all that kind of shit in multiple markets. I usually end up getting fucked over. What software is this? This is not a software. This is a website called TradingView, tradingview.com. When Doge gets to 10 sats, you may buy some shitcoins. Dogecoin is actually a great proxy for the crypto market. God, that chart is ugly. Wow. Yeah, so I mean, you ain't buying that anytime soon. Yikes. Well, there's got to be a better BitterX. Oh man, old Doge ain't looking so hot. Yeah, so I mean, Dogecoin seems to consistently cycle, and it's kind of floor. It's at the floor, pretty damn close to the bottom. So might be alt season soon, but not yet, because Dogecoin can still fall a little more here. So we'll see what happens with Dogecoin here, but it looks like shit for now. But coming into support. Because alts were growing much harder in Jan, but it might have been due to their unavailability of stablecoins, so people shifted from BTLs, but now we have maybe less of an inverse correlation. That's a good point. You could be right. Collection of cells says, bruh, this is all BS. All right, dude. Stop watching then. I don't care. Those fib levels are from ICT. Do you use them for crypto? So, I mean, the way that I've marked them up are from ICT. But these fib levels in specific have been used by other people than ICT for a long time. That's just kind of how I have them, right? So I have the 79, 70.5, and the 62. He calls this the OTE, the optimal trade entry. The real fib is 78.6, 61.8, and then this one, it doesn't exist. It's not in there. And yeah, I absolutely use it for crypto. What you'll find is crypto loves these fibs. Okay. What's a good example here? Not that, obviously. Right. So it loves. This is a very common area of retracement. Right. Is that kind of 61.8 to 78.6 area, as you can see. So it works very well in crypto. Works very well in trading. Oftentimes, right, when you're seeing this, right, you want to long the pullback. Maybe there's a bullish order block here, right? That oftentimes will be lined up with the fibs, right? So it's just an extra piece of confluence, right? If I'm in a bullish trend, right, generally what I find, if we're trading super bullish, price will kind of come back only to this one or come back to here. The optimal, the where you really want to get in, right, though, is if possible, is deep in the retracement, right? If you can get into a retracement here for the next leg up, right, you've got your 2R locked in just at the high before it even continues. Cup and handle, cup and handle. I forget what I was talking about when you guys left that comment. I'm sorry. What is your trading plan for the week in a summary? Yeah, sorry, A-man. Let me summarize it for you. I know I've been a little rambly here. So, trading plan for the week in summary. Good question. So, we'll start with Ethereum. Okay. So, trading plan for the week. Watching Ethereum, expecting continuation to the upside, looking for potentially a run of the range low to get long, or a breakout and retest of 418 to get long. That's the plan for Ethereum USD, okay? Looking to get long on either a break above this level, bullish price action, or a run of this low, reclaim, and then some sort of move up, right? And then obviously looking to get long on something like this or something like this, right? And then we're ultimately going to be targeting this high over here. Sorry, hold on. Ultimately, we'll be targeting this high over here, okay? And then eventually way up there. So I guess not ultimately, penultimately here, ultimately here. All right, so that's the basic plan for Ethereum USD, is looking to get long after this range resolves itself. The plan for Bitcoin, I think, is similar. What I see on Bitcoin right now is still leaning bullish, right? But what you want to be careful of is up here. So this could be a deviation, right? And so if we come up here and reject, right? I'm looking to short, okay? And if we come up here and flip above this high, I'm looking to long this into that 13,873 level from here. Remember here, this. Okay? So, waiting to see what happens here. Again, the election is in 9 days or whatever. So, I'm not sure if it's going to be crazy volatile or not. I have a feeling yes. So, just be careful. But yeah, this is key for Bitcoin here, because if this is just a run of these highs, right, then this high should be locked in. So if we reject here, I think that could actually be, this could be a decent short. But I would probably wait for a breakdown and then get short later, right, and then look to compound, down towards like 12.5 or whatever, even, basically 12.2. So this is a key area that we're going to probably push up to on Bitcoin. So I wouldn't be surprised if the rest of the day, today it's Sunday, but going into Monday, if we see a push up into here. Again, above this high, I'm trading this to 13,800. Reject here, I'm looking to short it down into here. Okay, so that's my trade plan for the week summarized for those two pairs. Yeah, I don't know who this guy is. Let's see. Can I do anything mean? I can pin his message. Here, let's put him in a timeout. He's been put in a timeout and the message has been deleted. That's what you get for being mean and hurting my feelings. How dare you? So fucking triggered by some guy named a collection. That's kind of funny. His name's Collection of Cells. Like, is that a joke on abortion? I don't know. Kind of funny. Not that abortion's funny, but I don't know. Who fucking knows? BTC about to do it. So yeah, right? Just like I said, we're pushing up into a key area here. What you don't want to see, right, if you're a bull, is us reject here. So I'd be watching this area closely if you're long BTC to see if we get bearish price action here. And so you can zoom in this zone, right? And look for bearishness. You don't need to just short it when we touch it, right? Don't just short it when we touch it. But if we see something like this, okay, here's another nice area here, right? So see these highs that we just ran, right? So this would be a short. Let's say we come up here, then we trade down back below this level, that's a short, right? Or if we come up here, right, and then do some sort of breakdown, you know, that'd be more aggressive, but I think that's a pretty safe short, right? So if we come up into this gray, reject, and then start trading below here again, right? To me, that says this was just a run on these highs into that bearish OP, and we're gonna trade lower. So I'll give you that level again here. Let's see if I can replicate the sauce. Right? And I mean, that level, you know, you could argue you could just use their EQ, but this would give you a little bit tighter, right? Because this is essentially a breaker right here. This little area here, that's a breaker. So if we get back up into here and reject, it's going to sell off. So key area for sure to watch. Are you is it a good time to start taking a lot of huge RR breakout trades on ETH and BTC? I don't really know what that means. I mean, all of your trades, you should aim for a minimum of 2-to-1 risk reward. The more the better, but don't just put your stop super tight so your RR is 10, right? Your risk, your stop goes where you're wrong, okay? So your stop goes where you're wrong, and then your target has to be based on the chart. Don't just set your target and your stop arbitrarily so your RR looks good. It's got to make sense. That's what the TA is for, right? So on that example I just gave you, right, let's say this is going to break down. So let's just assume for a second we do this. We trade here. Well, my stop is here. I don't just put my target here because it gives me a 2-to-1 R. I say, okay, well, if this is breaking down, where are we going to? I think we're going into the range low. So I might put my target there. And if this gives me at least a 2-to-1 R, it's a trade worth taking, right? If my stop is way up there, but my target is only here, that's not going to be a 2-to-1 R. That's not a trade I'm going to take. All right. So, I mean, that's a very long subject and video, but I could do something like that in the future if you guys want more info about risk reward and shit like that. I'm going way over half an hour. Fuck it. It's been an hour. I completely lost track of time. Check dash. I'll do that next video, bro. I gotta wrap this video up here. These are only supposed to be 30 minutes. Are you currently in a position not sexual? I mean, fuck, I'd like to be. No, I mean I'm spot long right now, but I'm flat on BTC, and I'm flat on Ethereum as well. You're welcome, Kareem. But yeah, that my plan that I just laid out a little bit ago, that's what I'm looking at. BTC moving. Also, is that a Canadian accent? You're fucking goddamn right it is, bud. Are you sure you wish you're in Canada right about now? I don't know about that, bud. It's pretty fucking cold, dude. So, I mean, summer was super nice. And I'm kind of like not super stoked. Like I was saying at the start of the video, my least favorite time is before I can snowboard, but when it's still cold. Any confluence for the 12.5 and 12.2 levels on Bitcoin, right? Well, just look at the chart, look left, right? Fuck you. So look left. All right, so we've got these previous highs in here. And if you zoom in, right, nothing goes up in a straight line. Right, a little consolidation happened here, right? So this is a bullish order block. This is an area of buying, right? So we could totally do something like this. It's completely possible. So that's where that level is. 12.5 is just a sweep of all these lows, right? The lowest low here is about 12.6, right? So 12.5 would just be a sweep of the lows and then, you know, back up. That's all. And then, yeah, look left. Always look left, right? Previous highs. Old highs can become support. Maybe he wasn't referring to my comment, not your analysis. Yeah, who knows? Check WWR. Fug that guy. Okay. Who were your main influencers when learning crypto? Any? So when I came into crypto back in 2013, 2014, I followed Crypto Cobain, Jeebus, Actual Advice, BTC, Crypto Messiah, all these guys who are big accounts now, the OGs. They were, some of them were bigger then, not all of them. One of the main guys I learned from was a guy named Kazanomics. DJ Thistle, this guy does not get enough love. This guy's an absolute killer. DJ Thistle, I don't know if that's his Twitter. Definitely follow this guy. This guy's a beast. A lot of the traders you see learn shit from him about cycles, about everything. This guy's an absolute beast. So definitely follow DJ Thistle. That's his tag right there. Check him out. But yeah, I mean, I learned a lot of this myself by going into Forex, learning Forex, and then coming back and applying those concepts in crypto. I think we consolidate here like we have the last levels, then go up with the burr. Totally possible. You're welcome, Kukam. Thanks for tuning in, man. Hope to see you again. Yes, sir. Please, RR vid. Absolutely. I'll try and do something like that. If our thesis is that crypto is about to blast off, that makes sense to take a lot of high R breakout trades because one of them will eventually be right? Absolutely not. Just because you think it's going to go up, it doesn't mean just take a bunch of fucking high RR trades. If you think it's about to go up, look for longs, right? But still be smart about how you get into those longs. Don't just blindly enter shit. Still have a plan, still have a stop. I think your concept of RR is incorrect. Just being like, it's got to be a high RR trade. You're just looking for bullish setups. That's what you want to focus on. Bullish setups. Start buying in on dips. If you think crypto's about to blast off, we think crypto's about to blast off, that's what you should be doing. Litecoin looking real good. Let's take a quick peek at LTC. Because LTC and my baby EOS are in lockstep. Yeah, so I mean that's a good looking wick right there on Litecoin. That's what you like to see, right? This is a breaker right here on the hourly on Litecoin. So if it does this, and then comes back and retests here, you just long it, in my opinion. My baby EOS. Let's go. All right, guys. I appreciate, start co-vesting. Bro, I need to follow you. I might, man. I know Prime has that feature. I got to learn a little bit more about it before I jump into it, but I'll definitely keep y'all posted. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been a longer than normal stream, but I had a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I really appreciate all you guys coming and hang out with me on a Sunday and watching this stuff. And yeah, if you got any questions, DM me, leave me a comment, tag me, whatever. Don't forget to check out Prime XBT. Link in the description. Like, retweet, the video. Shout it out. I really appreciate you all. Hope everyone has a good start to the week. Let's make some money, and I will talk to you guys soon.